Radhika, by the strength of her love, taste all the nectar of my sweetness. Although Radhika's love is pure like the mirror, its purity increases every moment. My sweetness also has no room for expansion, yet it shines before that mirror in the newer and newer beauty. There is a constant competition between my sweetness and the mirror of Radha's love. They both go on increasing, but neither knows the defeat. My sweetness is always newer and newer. Devotees taste it according to their own respective love. If I see my sweetness in the mirror, I am tempted to taste it, but nevertheless I cannot. If I deliberate uh, on the way to taste it, I find that I hanker for the position of Radhika, who manifests an abundance of sweetness greater than me, which has never been experienced before, and which causes wonder to all. Alas, I myself, my mind bewildered upon seeing his beauty, impetuously desire to enjoy it like Srimati Radharani. The beauty of Krishna has one natural strength. It thrills the heart of all men and women, beginning with Lord Krishna himself. All the minds are attracted by hearing his sweet voice and flute or by seeing his beauty. Even Lord Krishna himself makes efforts to taste the sweetness. The thirst of one who always drinks the nectar of the sweetness is never satisfied. Rather, that thirst increases constantly. Such a person, being unsatisfied, begins with blasphemy Lord Brahma, saying that he does not know the art of creating well and is simply inexperienced. He has not given millions of eyes to see the beauty of Krishna. He has given only two eyes, and even those eyes blink. How then shall I see the lovely face of Krishna? The gopis said, O Krishna, when you go to the forest during the day and we do not see your sweet face, which is surrounded by beautiful curling hair, half a second becomes as long as the entire age for us. And we consider the Creator who has put eyelids on our eyes. We use it for seeing you to be simply a fool. The gopis saw their beloved Krishna at Kurukshetra after a long separation. They secured and embraced him in their hearts through their eyes, and they attained the joy of intense that not even a perfect yogi can attain it. The gopis cursed the Creator for creating eyelids that interfered with their vision. There is no consumption for eyes other than the sight of Krishna. Whoever sees him is most fortunate indeed. The gopis said, O friends, those eyes that see the beautiful faces of the sons of Maharaj Nanda are certainly fortunate. As the two sons entered the forest surrounded by their friends, driving the cows before them, they hold their flutes to their mouths and glance lovingly upon the residents of Vrindavan. For those who have eyes, we think there is no greater object of vision. The women of Mathura said that austerities must be gopis, or what austerities must the gopis have performed. With their eyes, they can always drink the nectar of the form of Lord Krishna, which is the essence of loveliness and is not to be equaled or surpassed. That loveliness is the only abode of beauty, fame, and opulence. That is self-perfect, ever fresh, and extremely rare. The sweetness of Lord Krishna is unprecedented, and his strength is also unprecedented. Simply by one's hearing of such beauty, the mind becomes unsteady. Lord Krishna's own beauty attracts Lord Krishna himself, but because he cannot fully enjoy, his mind remains full of sorrow. This is the description of his second desire. Now please listen as I describe the third. This conclusion of rasa is extremely deep. Only the murderer, Sarvarupa Damodar, knows much about it. Anyone else who claims to know it must have heard it from him, for he was the most intimate companion of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The love of the gopis is called Radha Bhava. It is the pure and spotless. It is not at all any time lust. I'll read that text 162 again. The love of the gopis is called Rudha Bhava. It is pure and spotless. It is not at any time lust. The pure love of the gopis has become celebrated by the name lust. The dear devotees of the Lord, headed by Sri Uddhava, desire to taste that love. Lust and love have different characteristics, just as iron and gold have different natures. The desire to gratify one's own senses is a kama, lust, but the desire to please the senses of the Lord Krishna is prema, love. The object of lust is only the enjoyment of one's own sense, but love caters to the enjoyment of Lord Krishna, and thus it is very powerful. Social customs, scriptural injunctions, bodily demands, fruitive actions, shyness, patience, bodily pleasures, self-gratification, and path of anashram dharma, which is difficult to give up. The gopis have forsaken all these, as well as their own relatives, and the punishment and scolding. For the sake of serving Lord Krishna, they render loving service to him for the sake of his enjoyment. That is called the firm attachment to Lord Krishna. It is spotlessly pure, like the clean cloth that has no stain. Therefore, lust and love are quite different. Lust is like dense darkness, but love is like the bright sun. Thus, there is not a slightest taint of lust in the gopis' love. Their relationship with Krishna is only for the sake of their enjoyment. Oh, dearly beloved, your lotus feet are so soft that we place them gently on our breast, fearing that your feet will be hurt. Our life rests only in you. Our mind, therefore, are filled with anxiety, and your tender feet might be wounded by the pebbles as you roam about on the forest paths. The gopis do not care for their own pleasure and pain. All their physical and mental activities are directed towards offering enjoyment to Lord Krishna. They renounce everything for Krishna. They have pure attachment for giving Krishna's pleasure. Oh, my beloved gopis, you have renounced social customs, spiritual injunctions, and your relatives. For my sake, I disappeared behind you only to increase your concentration upon me. Since I disappeared for your benefit, you should not be displeased with me. Lord Krishna has a promise from before to reciprocate with the devotees according to the way they worship him. In whatever way my devotees surrender to me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Partha. That promise has been broken by the worship of the gopis, as Lord Krishna himself admits. O gopis, I am not able to repay my debt for your spotless service even within the life of Brahma. Your connection with me is beyond reproach. You have worshipped me, cutting off all domestic ties which are difficult to break. Therefore, please let your own glorious deeds be your compensation. Now, whatever affection we see the gopis show for their bodies, know it for certain to be only for the sake of Lord Krishna. The gopis think, I have offered this body to Lord Krishna. He is the owner and it brings him enjoyment. Lord Krishna finds joy in seeing and touching his body. It is for this reason that they cleanse and decorate their bodies. O Arjuna, there is no greater receptacles of deep love for me than the gopis, who cleanse and decorate their bodies because they consider them mine. There is another wonderful feature of the emotion of gopis. Its power is beyond the comprehension of the intelligence. When the gopis see Lord Krishna, they derive unbound bliss, although they have no desire for such pleasure. The gopis taste the pleasure of 10 million times greater than the pleasure of Lord Krishna derives from seeing them. I'll read 187 again. The gopis taste the pleasure 10 million times greater than the pleasure Lord Krishna derives from seeing them. The gopis have no inclination for their own enjoyment, and yet the joy increases. That is indeed a contradiction. For this contradiction, I see only one solution. The joy of the gopis lies in the joy of the beloved Krishna. When the Lord sees the gopis, his joys increase and his unparalleled sweetness increase also. The gopis think, Krishna has obtained so much pleasure by seeing me. That thought increases the fullness and beauty of their faces and bodies. The beauty of Lord Krishna increases at the sight of the beauty of the gopis, and the more the gopis see Lord Krishna's beauty, the more their beauty increases. In this way, a competition takes place between them in which no one acknowledges defeat. Krishna, however, derives pleasure from the beauty and the good qualities of the gopis, and when the gopis sees his pleasure, the joy of the gopis increases. Therefore, we find that the joy of the gopis nourishes the joy of Lord Krishna. For this reason, the fault of lust is not present in their love. I worship Lord Keshava, coming back from the forest of Braj. He is worshipped by the gopis who mount the roofs of their palaces and meet them on the path with the 100 manners of dancing glances and gentle smiles. The corners of his eyes wander like the large black bees around the gopis' breasts. There is another natural symptom of the gopis' love that shows it to be without a trace of lust. The love of the gopis nourishes the sweetness of Lord Krishna. The sweetness in turn increases their love, for they are greatly satisfied. The happiness of the abode of love in the happiness of the object of that love is this is not the relationship of desire for the personal gratification. Whenever there is unselfish love that is its style, the reservoir of love derives pleasure when the lovable object is pleased. When the pleasure of love interferes with the service of Lord Krishna, the devotees become angry towards such ecstasy. Sri Daruka did not relish the ecstatic feeling of love, for they caused his limbs to become stunned and thus obstructed his service of fanning Lord Krishna. The lotus-eyed Radharani powerfully condemned the ecstatic love that caused the flow of tears that hindered her sight of Govinda. Furthermore, pure devotees never forsake the loving service of Lord Krishna to aspire for their own personal pleasure through the 5 kinds of liberation. Just as the celestial waters of Ganges flow unobstructed into the ocean, so when my devotees simply hear me, their mind comes to me, who reside in the hearts of all. These are the characteristics of transcendental loving service of Parashottama, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is causeless and it cannot be obstructed in any way. My devotees do not accept Salokya, Sartisarupya, Sampaya, or oneness with me. Even if I offer this liberation in preference to serving me. My devotees, having fulfilled their desire by serving me, do not accept the four kinds of salvation that are easily earned by such service. Why then should they accept the pleasures that are lost in the course of time? The natural love of the gopis is devoid for any trace of lust. It is faultless, bright and pure, like molten gold. The gopis are the helpers, teachers, friends, wives, dear disciples, confidants, and serving maids of of Lord Krishna. O Partha, I speak to you the truth. The gopis are my helpers, teachers, disciples, servants, friends, and consorts. I do not know what they are not for me. The gopis know Krishna's desires, and they know how to render perfect loving service for their enjoyment. They perform their service expertly for the satisfaction of their beloved. O Partha, the gopis know my greatness, my loving service, respect for me, and my mentality. Others cannot really know this. Among the gopis, Srimati Radhika is the foremost. She surpasses all the beauty in good qualities, in good fortune, and all above in love. Just as Radha is dear to Lord Krishna, her bathing place Radha Kund is dear to him. She alone is his most beloved of all gopis. O Partha, in all these three planetary systems, this earth is especially fortunate, for on earth is the town of Vrindavan, and there the gopis are especially glorious because among them is my Srimati Radharani. All the other gopis help increase the joy of Krishna's pastime with Radharani. The gopis act as an instrument of their mutual enjoyment. Radha is the beloved consort of Krishna, and she is the wealth of his life. I'm gonna read again, text 2:18. Radha is the beloved consort of Krishna, and she is the wealth of his life. Without her, the gopis cannot give him pleasure. Lord Krishna, the enemy of Kamsa, left aside the other gopis during the rasa dance and took Srimati Radharani to his heart, for she is the helper of the Lord in realizing the essence of his desires. O Lord Chaitanya appeared with the sentiment of Radha. He preached the Dharma of in this age, the chanting of the holy name and the pure love of God. In the mood of Srimati Radharani, he has fulfilled his own desires. This is the principal reason for his appearance. Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya is Krishna Vajendra Kumara, the embodiment of rasas. He is amorous love personified. He made his appearance to taste the conjugal mellow and incidentally broadcast all the rasas. My dear friends, just see how Sri Krishna is enjoying the season of spring, with the gopis embracing each of his limbs. He is like amorous love personified. With the transcendental pastimes, he enlivens all the gopis and the entire creation. With his soft bluish black arm and legs, which resemble the blue lotus flowers, he has created a festival for Cupid. Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya is the abode of rasa. He himself tastes the sweetness of rasa in the endless ways. Thus, he initiated the Dharma for the age of Kali. The devotee of Lord Chaitanya knows all these truths.